Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife, Marie. And you are going in Smackdown Live.
Hi, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
Hi everybody, Larson here. We gotta get this audio turned off real quick. There we go. Hi everybody, Larson here.
Also Cal.
How's it going? Welcome to Going In Raw. You know, still working out the kinks a little bit here.
You know, it's funny. I left my laptop sound on, and we're watching the show. We're streaming. I can see both screens and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I normally do is I'll watch SmackDown, and then this morning I'll watch the highlights, and I watch the highlights on my computer. So my bad. I forgot.
All
that.
good.
You know,
all
hey,
good.
These things happen. You know,
They do.
This is my first week.
This is what happens on live shows. It's warts and all, man.
This is my first botch. Will it be my last botch? Probably not. You know?
I'm actually surprised we have not. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna jinx us.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it anyways. We really haven't had a whole lot of stream issues. There was one little hiccup on Overrun yesterday.
That's
knock
what
on
I heard.
Wood, they
yeah,
continue.
knock on wood.
Now that I say that, internet's going to go out. We're not going to get the stream up at all. It's going to be like we're streaming in like 2 frames a second. Now that I say it, but hopefully now that I realize that I jinxed us, it won't jinx us.
I'm pretty bad at jinx, man. I jinx myself a lot when it comes to certain things. But you know what? Forget it. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna
exactly.
happen.
Not gonna happen.
No way, dude.
Exactly. Not today. Not
Yep.
while Cal's here. It's a smooth riding. Wouldn't it be funny if while Steve was gone, everything went as far as internet stuff so smoothly? The second he comes back, stream crashes.
You know what? Maybe
junk internet.
Yeah, maybe something might happen to Steve where he might hit his head. That replaces his skull with like a metal cap thing or something. And then when he comes back, metal plate in his head, it screws up like the internet because he's blocking the camera and the internet and all this stuff. From
he does have he says he has a giant head anyway, so maybe just the girth of it.
I think he's just saying that. I don't think he does. His
head's no larger than mine. I have a big head though. So anyways, this is Going In Raw. We can be found at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Anywhere fine podcasts available. We're also on the patreon.com/Steven Larson. Got a new patron over the last 24 hours. Tommy, thank you very much. Also, got a huge sale going on all week long at Pro Wrestling Tees. Here's graphic.
Oh my God.
ProWrestlingTees.com/Going In Raw. Pizza logo. That's new. Friendo Fest flyer. Also new. Of course, all our best sellers, including the Slow Wolf. Hey, you're not me.
You're not me.
Shirts, all available, 20% off. Promo code America. Cal, I believe you have a shop on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yes, I
do.
Well. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Caljak, KLJAK, where you can find all your fun Grizzly Pal shirts. I mean, look at it. You can see that one right there. There's another one. Look at that. There's a cartoon version of me.
Yeah, it's great.
Aren't they cool? Yeah, come on. Get yourself a Bear Man shirt.
Yeah,
Caljak.
Represent Bear Man. I can vouch for the design in the middle. It looks great. Shirt feels great. It's a great shirt.
It's very comfy.
I like that one too. I like that.
Yeah,
that
go
color.
Grizz, man, because it's similar to my Oregon State, college. I was Oregon State, go Beavs. This is go Grizz. It's art. Art's always stolen from something. I was influenced by that, and also Giants fan for.
Yeah.
Maybe people aren't Giants fan. I'm not going to say it. My college team, Beavers, but now it's go Grizz, not go Beavs.
Yeah, I'm not a Giants fan. I'm an A's fan.
Oh, teach his own.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. All right, so let's talk SmackDown. General thoughts.
I thought it was good. I liked it. Obviously, you guys are a lot more consistent watching SmackDown on a regular weekly basis, but for me, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have some unfair biases. Like, I loved Heavy Machinery in the main event because I know those guys very, very well. They did an excellent job. Other parts, it's like, seeing Dolph come out again, pretty much resaid the exact same thing he always says, but I think they're doing that to get him more and more heat, and then the way that Kevin totally just shut that down.
Yeah.
I think obviously there's going to be a face turn with Kevin, which is awesome, but where's Sami Zayn?
I don't know. He's been around for a couple weeks.
That kind of bums me out because when Shane's like, "Oh, we'll make you guys a tag team." Like, wait, no. What about Sammy?
Yeah.
I want my Kevin Sammy team.
Yeah.
That's so much better.
I kind of feel like I want them to fight again. I'm happy you mentioned Kevin Owens because I think that's worth talking about, so much so they put it in the thumbnail and the title of this episode. Kevin Owens was initially supposed to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE title as a babyface. However, with Kofi getting all the momentum behind him, going on to be champion at Mania, that didn't happen. And then they seemed to kind of force a Kevin Owens heel turn because of Daniel Bryan's subsequent injury because they needed another heel on SmackDown. And we got a little tease of what a Kevin Owens face run might look like, but we didn't get to see it because he betrayed the New Day, turned heel, had a little mini feud with Kofi Kingston leading up until Super Showdown. He said he didn't want to go to that show, so that feud ended. And then we got Dolph. Great.
Yay, Dolph.
So I'm wondering. I know. So I'm wondering now that they kind of have some clarity and all that. Kofi's moved on to Samoa Joe. If we're finally going to see a Kevin Owens face turn, it's not just what happened last night because there was some hints that it's going to happen soon. He was on Lillian Garcia's podcast and said, hey, I'm a great heel. I like being. I'm paraphrasing. I'm a great heel. I love being a heel. However, I want to know what I can do with the babyface run. He says, with my essentially, like I'm confident enough that I can be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I want to see. I want to know. I want to go out there and do it for a while and see if I can have a quality babyface run. And Steve's been saying this for a long time, and I don't disagree with him, that if anybody in the main roster has Stone Cold potential, it's Kevin Owens. Because he can play the anti-hero, the tweener. He's super relatable because he looks like an average dude. And he presents himself as a pretty average dude. He's a guy. He's not the fittest. He's not the most athletic, but he's one of the best wrestlers. He's a family man.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
So he's really relatable in that sense. And rather, back in the mid-'90s, Stone Cold, he was relatable because everybody had a situation where they were upset with their bosses. They wanted to stun him. And there was a certain amount of catharsis involved in seeing Stone Cold repeatedly stun Vince McMahon every week. And while I don't want Kevin Owens to necessarily go against a authority figure like that, because we've seen that storyline play out so many times, it would be interesting if it was a situation where you keep some of the attributes of Stone Cold. He only really cares about himself. He doesn't pander to the crowd, yet without a doubt, he is a good guy. And he just goes around and fights people and beats people up. I think that's pretty much what they did with Becky before the Royal Rumble this past year.
Yeah.
Where he just wants to fight. He just wants to beat people up. And he just wants to do what he wants to do. I mean, if they do that with Kevin Owens, he could be massive. Huge money made with Kevin Owens as top babyface if that's his role.
Yeah. I will say, I think Kevin Owens fits a face. I mean, he's amazing as a heel, and I've watched like Wrestle Talk, Cultaholics, What Culture. They all agree that they like their Kevin Owens as a heel. Mm-hmm. I know Kevin pretty well. When I first hurt my shoulder the second time around, the first person to see how I was doing was Kevin Owens. So he has a really big heart. When he was trying to figure out a character in developmental, when he was in Indies, he was Mr. Wrestling. Mm-hmm. He had all these like that. He didn't really have a character. He was just him. Mm-hmm. When he was talking to Dusty was trying to get to know Kevin as much as possible because Dusty knew Kevin was a big deal from his Ring of Honor, his PWG. Like he was a really well-known guy when he first came in, like one of the biggest indie darlings they've ever signed. Mm-hmm. When Dusty was talking to him, Kevin's doing this because he loves wrestling, but he loves his family a lot. And his family wants to see him succeed. He's got a really great family support. So he's all about his family. Dusty said, then that's what motivates you with your family. So Kevin's is like the ultimate family guy. Mm-hmm. And that's, to me, that's his babyface quality. I know the reason why they turned him heel in the beginning because he was a prize fighter. But what was he winning the prize for?
For his family.
For his family. So seeing Kevin go to a more babyface role, I think naturally we'll see some like a lot of good, like you said, like a Stone Cold vibe from it.
Yeah.
And Kevin, he's unapologetically hilarious.
Yes.
He is funny. Like that dude is so damn funny. And he's not, and like when we talk about like backstage segments, some people are good backstage, some people aren't. Kevin is so damn good in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He like when we did promo class, he was okay in promo class. Like, he was good, but in the ring when he has that crowd on, which that's what he's used to.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's always done in the indies. He's performing like, yeah, he had the Kevin Owens show, I think on High Spots, but him in the ring with the crowd, no one can beat him as far as on the mic in that regard. And yeah, Kevin's great.
The little details last night during Kevin Owens' show when he was going through the cards he was given, and he was reading them, and you say under,
and he switched the card.
It's great.
Under,
little details like that.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so good. Yeah, going back to what you said about him, like the whole basis for his initial heel turn NXT was, I need to do this. I need to grab essentially the brass ring. I need to get that title off Sami Zayn because it means better circumstances for my family, more money, more opportunity. It's like, this isn't personal, Sami. I'm doing this for them, not because I have anything against you.
Yeah.
And on the main roster, they've kind of gotten away from that somewhat.
Yeah.
But if when he was coming back, that's how they present him, as just a family guy. And they could do that still if it doesn't have to be an authority figure per se that's in front of him. Just anybody that's in front of him, keeping him from what he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, his motivation would be the same. I want the title because it means more opportunity, more money, better life for my family. That's stuff anybody can relate to.
Yep.
And then heel after heel just gets in his way. It doesn't have to be a Vince-like authority figure. If you start him off with, say he's in another situation with Sami Zayn. And Sami, I don't think he's won a match. Maybe he's won one since he's come back. And Sami be like, hey, we're supposed to be, this is us. And Kevin said, like, why?
Yeah.
You're holding me back at this point. And then so long as Sami is the one that kind of attacks Kevin first and firmly establishes who's the face and heel in the dynamic, they can have another great match at probably Extreme Rules or SummerSlam or something. And that could really be what kicks off his babyface run. If they handled it right, that's a huge if, though.
Yeah. Man, I feel bad for Sami because I can't really take him seriously now because of the way he's been booked.
Mm-hmm.
When you lose so many matches to so many guys, it's hard to think he's threatening.
I know.
And the thing is, Sami is probably, as far as like performing in the ring, he's, to me, like, I've seen Sami wrestle 1,000 times, and just I've seen him wrestle so many times. He's so good, smooth. He can put together matches really, really well with anybody, but it's not like he's always losing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching him and Pac go at it, and so many times, and like it was amazing on the NXT live events. So it's tough. Sami's kind of painted in a corner as far as like being a threat. I don't think he can really show as a threat. He needs to do something to get to that point.
I know,
but I don't know. It's really hard. I know a lot of little things are holding him back, but
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a huge bummer.
He is one of the most talented wrestlers.
Oh,
in the
he's
whole world.
awesome. When he had that Cesaro match and that one NXT takeover, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We even had promo class based around that entire match, and we would have one of the girl interviewers would stand there, and then Dusty would have us come up and have her interview us, and we just talk about our excitement for the Sami Cesaro match, what we hope to get out of it.
Oh, wow.
So everyone went and like gave a little speech about that, and that was the whole class.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I really hope something big happens. Something has to change for Sami.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
Yeah.
He needs to go to All Elite, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
Anyways, let's move on to the show. We'll hit more of the particular story beats about how and maybe when Kevin Owens will turn face, but it seems to be a pretty high likelihood that's going to happen in the coming weeks. The show immediately kicked off with a replay from Raw. Way to set the tone, SmackDown. So they do a replay of the spot on the stage where Braun shoulder tackles Lashley through the LED board. They give some medical update. Lashley is fine, even though he's the one that took the shoulder tackle and the first one to go through the LED board. He was released from the hospital. However, Braun is super messed up. He might have some fractures, maybe a ruptured spleen.
Maybe that ruptured spleen.
And so I guess if the goal was to write him off TV to deal with some other injuries, I guess mission accomplished.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Something's up with Braun. Something's always up with Braun.
Yeah, you got a guy that large that moves that fast 5 days a week. That's a lot of stress in those joints.
It's a huge amount, especially with his weight. They say he is, or 385, which he really isn't. But it's tough, man. You can't, like, he's 6'8". He's running around doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing. And it's wear and tear. I don't remember how much, like, when Big Show first came out, if he had that same issue.
I don't remember. He was super young, though, in WCW when he first started.
Yeah, but also, like, you look at, I want to call him Dylan Miley, Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
Like, he's been having injury issues, too. And it's just, like, when you have all that muscle and bulk for your height and size, it's wear and tear in your body. It's tough. That's why, like, in the land of the giants, they move so slow. But WWE's hiring these guys that are these big dudes that are really athletic. Problem is they're kind of beating themselves up too much with how much they're moving. So it's rough.
Yeah, inevitably they're all going to have to slow down to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Show kicked off in earnest with an episode of Kevin Owens' show with special guests Drew McIntyre, Shane McMahon. Shane talks some trash a little bit. Owens pretty much quickly throws to another Raw recap, this time The Undertaker's promo. They come back. Shane's all, ooh, scary. Shane said he's not worried about The Undertaker. In fact, the match at Extreme Rules is now no holds barred. Drew talks some trash too, and Owens like, hold on. You know, you say you're not scared, but there's one thing I want to replay. Let's show this again. So he throws the video, and he shows a couple clips of Shane and Drew leaving the ring when The Undertaker comes down, and including like a close-up of Shane looking like this. Kind of scared.
Yeah.
And it says,
trying to pretty much, come on, Drew, we don't want to do this. Let's back up. Let's back up. We don't want to get,
The Undertaker,
we don't want to
scary.
know this. He's terrifying.
You see what he did to Goldberg? Dropped him right in his head.
Had a great look of, why am I out here?
Was money worth all this? Says Shane, you're looking a little scared there. And Shane says to Kevin Owens, hey, just read the cards as agreed upon and do your job. And Owens at first, he complies. And he's like, I want to ask a different question. Throws the card aside and then asks Shane, so how does it feel about losing to Undertaker WrestleMania 32 to decide Hell in a Cell? Stepping up to Shane. Drew steps up to Kevin Owens. And then Dolph comes out.
You know, Kevin was starting to get face. He turned face. He's pointing things out. That's obvious that they did. Also, something that I liked when they were getting in the ring, Shane and Drew, they were having a little confrontation.
Where to sit.
Because
Yes.
Kevin wants to sit in the middle.
Yeah.
But they're like, they don't want to sit. They want Kevin to sit in the middle. So I dug that they had a little dispute on where to sit. And then Kevin sat at the
It wasn't
end
even
and-
just where to sit. It was because Owens put his mic down in the chair he was sitting in.
Yeah.
So Drew wanted to sit in the middle chair, but then he wanted the mic from the other chair. He didn't want to use the same mic that Kevin Owens was using. I'm happy you pointed that out because I did notice that too. The interplay between everybody, just little power moves in the ring. And also how, we mentioned this earlier, how Owens was reading his cards, like separating words by cards.
Undertaker.
It was just a little thing that was so damn funny.
Yeah.
So anyways, Dolph shows up for some reason. And
For some reason.
because he was told to. I know.
Told to.
So Owens is like, why are you out here? You're going to go on about how it should have been you. It should have been you. Well, it was you 8 years ago, kind of, but then it wasn't. Get over it.
Oh, it was his intensity and like his frustration with Dolph coming out there. Knew exactly what he was going to say, and then sure enough, Dolph says exactly what he was going to say.
Every wrestling fan out there.
Yep.
And then Dolph responds with, well, Owens, you look like you should be in a hot dog eating contest. And Owens says, yeah, if he were, he would win it, unlike Dolph, who doesn't win anything in the ring now. Dang.
Burn. You know what's funny is they just had that 30 for 30 that came out.
Oh, about Kobayashi and Chestnut, right?
Yeah, and Chestnut. And then everyone's saying that Chestnut guy was a dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I was reading on Twitter. Cassius Ohno.
Wow.
And Rachel Evers tweeted about how they don't like him at all.
Wow.
On 30 for 30. But I wonder if they brought that up because of the... Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do that.
Yeah. And then, you know what? The fourth is always have the Nathans at dog contest at
Oh, yeah. It's
Coney's
4th of July's coming on.
tomorrow.
That's
No.
hot dogs galore 4th of July.
Yeah. I'm making ribs, though, so...
Nice.
I do have a bunch of hot dogs. I should cook those up, too. So they both say they think they should get a title shot. And Shane, instead of putting them in a match to determine names for number one contender, I know Joe's involved already, so it kind of precludes them.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, there's other championships, like tag titles. So you guys are going to tag up tonight against Heavy Machinery. The winner of that match gets put into the tag title match at Extreme Rules. So just kind of pulling a match out of the ether and making it so we have a main event.
Yeah.
For the show. But before we continue, here's a word from our sponsor for today's show, forhims.com. I know this isn't the problem for you, Cal, because you got an incredible head of hair underneath that beanie.
Thank you.
But are you aware that 2 out of 3 men start losing their hair by the age of 35? And once you notice your hair is thinning, it can be too late.
And the best way to prevent more hair loss is to do something about it while you can still got some follicles up there. But why try odd solutions or do nothing when you can turn to medicine and science?
Of course you go with medicine and science, and forhims.com has been helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss. Hims was created by a dude who knew that some men's health conversations are easier online than in person. So Hims connects you with real doctors online, which means no more awkward doctor visits or time wasted in long lines at pharmacies.
Just answer a few quick questions. A doctor will review your order, and if they determine it's right for you, they can prescribe you medication to treat your hair loss. And best of all, it ships directly to your door.
Oh, that's great. Yes. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today. Right now, while supplies last and subject to doctor approval, just go to forhims.com/GIR. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost you hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy somewhere else. That's forhims.com/GIR. forhims.com/GIR. Again, we'd like to thank Hims for sponsoring today's episode. And you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to forhims.com/GIR. Someone like yourself who has a great head of hair.
Thank you.
Daniel Bryan.
Great head of hair.
Yes,
does,
and a great beard.
You know who he needs for Hims is Rowan.
Yeah.
Because he has no hair.
He has no hair.
But Daniel Bryan,
great head of hair. So they did an interview, and they were asked, so what do you think about this thing that Shane just said about winner of a match later on gets put in your match? And Daniel Bryan says, Shane's boss essentially, and while his decisions may be unpopular at a certain point, you just got to accept his decision. They're still going to be the Planet's tag team champions. They're confident they'll still win because they already beat Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, they already beat them before, so they really don't care.
They're
the Planet's champions.
Yes, they are. After that New Day interview in gorilla position, they're asked, what is your reaction to the stipulation as well? They just said, hey, now we could not be pinned or submitted and still lose a match, which is a bummer, but we're the New Day. We're going to be 6-time tag champions when all is said and done. And that leads to Big E doing his awesome introduction in gorilla position. And we get our match, Big E versus Daniel Bryan.
I loved it when who was the one? It was the, what's her name?
Oh, Sarah?
But that was the girl Sarah interviewing.
Yeah, I think so.
So when he's like, let me do it, and then got to see him actually do it on camera, which I know he's done it a couple times.
Yeah.
But seeing him do it like on the spot was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love when he does his intro.
I prefer Sarah or Kayla.
Kayla Braxton?
Yeah, did she do the Daniel Bryan interview?
I know they had a divide. I think it was Kayla.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Kayla did the Biggie and Xavier.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Sarah did the Daniel Bryan one, yeah. So they give this match a ton of time. They did a lot during a commercial break, and they really started hitting their story beats. Well, not really, because for the first bit of the match, Daniel Bryan was trying to hit and run on Big E. Didn't want to get caught by Big E. Didn't want to be overpowered.
Yeah.
At one point during the picture-in-picture commercial break, it's so hard to pay attention to picture-in-picture.
Yeah, I remember I think I was talking to somebody about that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when they did that, and then they did it again, which was cool, but whenever, as soon as that happened, I'm like, just switch to mute.
You should. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just because I can't. Commercials are so damn distracting, and it's like I hate commercials as is. I don't even have cable because of that reason alone. So when that happened, boom, hit mute. Unlike what I should have done earlier, but yeah, I hit mute and just watched it on silent
because I'll watch it. I'm like, I'm trying to watch the match, and then they'll have some movie. Oh, it was the Stuber trailer, the Dave Bautista movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I like Dave. So I start paying attention to that. It's like, oh, shit, no, I got to watch the match.
No, I want to watch this.
But it's Dave.
Yeah. But no, Dave's awesome. But it was there's parts though watching it where they kind of were standing around a little bit, and then eventually they went to a hold, and then they went somewhere else.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan hit, I think, a chop block. Again, Dave was distracting me.
Yeah.
And started working over Big E's knee. And so he was working it over. Big E was trying to hit his triple suplex combo, the overhead belly to bellies, followed by the Bailey to belly, essentially. Daniel Bryan blocks.
I know, he does the body lock, Bailey to belly thing. Yeah.
Daniel Bryan blocks that. Big E does hit his splash. He goes for the apron spear, and Daniel Bryan avoids it. And then Daniel Bryan gets in the ring, tries to get a suicide dive. Big E clocks him with a forearm. However, Eric Rowan, sorry, it's just Rowan now, Redwood, comes up behind him, pushes him into the ring post. And then he clocks Xavier Woods back in the ring. Daniel Bryan follows up with a knee plus for the win.
Yep.
Quality match.
Yeah, it was good. And it's fun to see Big E in a singles match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was good. I really liked it.
It was good. After that, we had an R-Truth interview. He was trying to say, essentially, that he's going to crash Drake Maverick's honeymoon.
He's like, I remember my honeymoon.
But then he didn't, and then he kind of did.
But yeah, he went in and out.
And he said, like, 2's a company, 3's crowd. I heard Drake's in San Antonio. Drake, I want my baby back.
Yep. I want my baby back.
And after that, we had Alexa and Nikki backstage. There was a scheduled moment of bliss, and Alexa says, Nikki, I want you to go out there and host it. Nikki's like, I'm not a host.
And then I know you're awkward and you're,
Socially awkward and stuff, but I believe in you.
Yeah.
And Nikki said, all right.
You know, I've only met Nikki Cross once, and that was like backstage at NXT live event in San Jose. Super duper nice.
Mm-hmm.
She's really, really nice. So kind of seeing her play not as a crazy, character, seeing her kind of more of her soft spoken, like nice. That's kind of how she was when I met her. So it's funny seeing her go from like really nice to sweet backstage to going crazy, but now you get to see her take more of that type of role on SmackDown.
I know at first I was when they started down this avenue for her of being kind of soft spoken. I was like, what? It's because she was so awesome in NXT as this crazy Nikki Cross.
She's on the top of the roof freaking out about who she,
who attacked Aleister Black. And
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know it was you.
But they managed to find an interesting middle ground where she's very soft spoken and maybe a bit insecure. Backstage, but once she gets out in the arena, you see flashes of Nikki in NXT. She'll still do the
damn it.
She still has that awesome theme.
Runs, hits the ropes,
shaking them. Not quite as crazy, but there's a little bit there.
Little craze.
That once Alexa crosses her, we're gonna get full on crazy Nikki.
But it's funny how in the beginning, when she takes over a moment of bliss, she like explains to the crowd who is she, where she's from, and she's going to speak slowly. And then you hear someone in the background, you're doing great, Nikki!
Yes, I'm going to speak very slowly so everybody understands. And at first I was like, she's doing that to get heel heat? No, she's just being genuine.
She's really being sweet and genuine.
Yeah.
And then that one random dude, you're doing great!
You're doing great.
So then Bayley, who's the guest, comes out, and Nikki says, I want you to tell me why you think Alexa Bliss is a liar. And Bayley says, because she is a liar. And Nikki says, no, that's not her anymore. She's been great to me. I'm out here. I want to clear her name. I want everybody to know that Alexa Bliss is awesome. And Bayley counters with, I'm wondering why I, Bayley, am facing Alexa Bliss at Extreme Rules rather than you, Nikki Cross. Explain that to me. And Nikki says, well, maybe we should be face-to-face, not here, but down the ring. Bayley says, is that a challenge?
Is that a challenge?
Deal.
Done.
We have a match now. These two have really good chemistry.
Yeah, they do. Their styles complement each other a lot. And no, I really like this match. This is good. And it's nice to see Bayley like not have to wrestle the same people. Because whenever Bayley loses, I feel bad because I know that she works really, really hard and like she's trying to do as much with her character as possible, but it's kind of hard with what her character is. But seeing her not go so much as the hugger personality, more to her being just her normal self, because that's when you talk to her, that's kind of how she sounds and stuff. I don't even know how she sounds with the hugger gimmick, but anyway, I like this match with her and Nikki. And like, yeah, they have good chemistry for sure.
Yeah, the second match of the last 3 weeks, I think, and yeah, this one's really solid. Finish saw Bayley counter a tornado DDT and followed up with Bayley to belly for the win. So she gets a win back over Nikki Cross and maybe slowing down Nikki's case for a title shot. Maybe a little bit.
But it almost looked like when she pinned Nikki's face kind of afterwards is like, even though she lost and Lexa still has that match, she looked like, oh, what the hell did I just do? Like she looked confused. So I wonder if that look is supposed to say something when, Alexa does have that match.
Yeah.
it's interesting because you had her on Raw last night. She beats or the other night. She beats Carmella, pretty handedly. Carmella is a champ.
Yeah.
And then she goes in, has a good match with Bayley, who she's beaten in the past, and I remember her face looked confused.
Yeah.
Something was going on. So
Yeah. Maybe in her mind she's like, oh, I maybe could have justified a title shot, but now after losing, maybe I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. After that, we had a Mustafa Ali promo. I love. This seemed more of a return to kind of the roots of what he had been doing kind of on his own previously before the one that ran during Stomping Grounds. It looked like it was supposed to be like the other ones, but didn't. Had a different vibe. He was like a would-be vigilante and stuff. And that wasn't necessarily the case here. It was just him. He wasn't walking through the city streets seeing, people being alcoholics or people in abusive relationships. It was just him. And he's saying, a lot of people, they say they want the WWE Championship for fame, for glory, for power. I want it for change. So people who have names like mine, they see me as champion, change. Who look like me when I'm champion, minds are going to change. So it's kind of going back to his original motivation when he was brought up, or actually his original motivation, if you go back to when he was in the Indies.
Yep.
And decided to stop being a heel, instead be a face. His motivation back then. He's trying to change people's minds and perceptions. Mustafa Ali is great. One of my favorites.
I like him because those type of promos that he was doing, I've seen some guys in the Indies that kind of do the similar stuff. Like Darby Allin. Mm-hmm. Darby Allin does really great promo stuff, like that kind of stuff. He does the whole, and like, how do I explain? Like his is black and white, and he's explaining like his feelings, his thoughts, his character, what everything means to him. Mm-hmm. Just exactly how Mustafa was doing it in this promo and the ones he's done in the past. I mean, the other ones are really awesome.
Oh, they're
City
fantastic.
Streets. Like his explanation, and when he and Joe were going at it, and he was talking about what was in Joe's eyes and like what he saw in there.
That one that was shot like a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. That was awesome, and I kind of wish they would go that route. Like this promo was great, it was cool, but it's tough because there's no like the ambiance, the surrounding doesn't make it. It was like what was in back of a garage or something
like that. Yeah.
That's cool, but man, like take it to the streets, be a little bit more authentic, But I like that. If you guys ever get a chance, like go look up Darby Allin promos. Like those are amazing. And that's similar to like what Mustafa Ali was doing earlier. But this one was awesome.
Yeah,
his delivery is like
his performance
so
is great.
genuine.
Yeah, man, totally.
And he doesn't skip a beat. He goes right into it and just shows so much charisma when he talks.
And he knows too that during his performance that you can't just perform at one speed. There's ebb and flow to what he does. And his voice in volume and pitch rises and falls is based on what he's trying to communicate. I wish they would do a lot more stuff like this with other talents. And I don't necessarily mean his performance, his delivery, his motivation. I just mean in terms of shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not your usual TV cameras.
Yeah.
It's like a DSLR like we shoot the Front Door Road stuff with.
Yeah.
It looks more cinematic.
Yes.
And it's just a different feel, different flavor, which I like. And This is the kind of stuff that when Bischoff comes on board fully, which I guess is going to be till after Extreme Rules now, kind of starts going that way. Because while the TNA fly on the wall stuff had a bit more of a documentary feel, I think they still did shoot it with your usual TV cameras.
Yeah.
But if you get a more cinematic approach to that kind of stuff, block it differently, it could be really cool.
Well, that's like now that they're moving to Fox, they got to do something different. Do like you said, like cinematic. Use that kind of camera shooting because, like, hey, do it when you're on Fox.
Yeah,
make it a bigger feel because when you see it in that kind of way, it makes it look more professional.
Yeah.
It makes it look awesome.
Yeah,
it makes it look more intriguing. Just the regular TV cameras they have there, it's okay.
And it's the way it's the way they block the action backstage.
Yeah.
Two people just kind of standing side by side in the locker room, having a conversation just as much with the camera as they are with each other.
Yeah.
It's unnatural.
A lot of it's old formula from what they've done in the past.
Totally.
They need to change up that kind of formula.
Yep.
And like they have to arrive for those events at like what time 2 p.m. And that's East Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast, they have to get there at like 11 or 10 a.m.
Yeah.
They have plenty of time they can plan things out. They have plenty of time to shoot stuff and prepare stuff earlier that day and have someone edit and get it ready within the hours. I don't know. It wouldn't be that hard for them to do that.
I wonder if part of it is there's so much upheaval and last minute rewriting done that all those hours that could be used to shoot this stuff in advance and have it prepped and ready to go for air, they don't think they have the time to do it because Vince is furiously rewriting stuff up until the show or into the
he's
show.
changing a lot of the stuff that somebody else already planned and made. But like some of the shows I've done in the indies, like Brian Zane, for example, he will film stuff before and after matches, and he does it really quickly.
Yeah.
And then he's able to edit and process like when he gets home and stuff. But like, man, it's not that hard.
No, it's not. It's not.
You can do it within the time span, especially if you hire the right people to do it.
Yeah. Well, also too, if you give your performers a certain amount of leeway, because I'm sure there wasn't a writer in WB who wrote this thing for Mustafa Ali. It's probably him and his buddy back in Chicago just went and did it.
Yeah. Boom. Here it is. What do you think? Okay, we like it.
All right.
Is there anything you need to change? No. Or at least maybe they say, can you say something like this in your own words?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Totally.
Easy.
Totally. And if you just give other performers who you feel comfortable can deliver on that level the same leeway, that kind of stuff should come together in a matter of like an hour.
Yeah.
At most. I mean, when we do a intro for one of our gameplay videos, or going back to 10 for the win, we'd shoot that in an hour and have it edited another hour at most.
Easy.
2 hour turnaround. You
Yeah.
get 3 editors.
Plenty of time to do that.
Get 3 or 4 editors go on the road with you. You can totally do it. After that, we're back to the ring. Kayla is hosting a face-to-face between Kofi Kingston and Samoa Joe. Pretty much as soon as Joe gets down the ring, he says, I'm going to start saying stuff and get kind of uncomfortable. Kayla, I don't want you to be collateral damage, so I suggest you leave the ring.
Yep.
Wisely, she complies. Because when Joe says stuff like that, you know he's going to start crossing some lines.
Something's going to get physical, and he's going to say and
Yep.
do something. Yeah.
Yep. And then Joe starts suggesting that Kofi, despite the charisma he puts out there, the positive attitude, he uses people, namely the New Day, to achieve what he wants to achieve. And Kofi says, oh, well, no, everything that I've pretty much done of late, I've done by myself. I beat Daniel Bryan at Mania by myself. I beat Dolph Ziggler in a cage match by myself. I've done a lot by myself. And then he starts talking trash to Joe about losing to Ricochet and losing that U.S. title. And then Joe counters, talking crap about Kofi's family and saying, you know, you won at Mania. And what's the first thing you do? You get your All-American family out there. You say, hey, son, stand on that second rope with the title.
And my new shirt.
Wear my new shirt so I can sell it to the people out here. And then Kofi says, well, you know what, Joe? You're just jealous. You're jealous, Joe.
Jealous Joe.
You're jealous because he'll never get a moment like that at WrestleMania. And then Joe says, here, this is what I want to do, Kofi. Yeah, sure, I've attacked you. I made you pass out a couple times. But here's what I want you to do. I'm going to extend my hand. I want you to shake it. If you shake my hand, I will guarantee the safety of everyone you love and hold dear between now and Extreme Rules. If you don't, that's on you, essentially.
Yep.
So, you know, I've beat the hell out of you over the last few weeks. But here, shake my hand, and everybody be safe. And Kofi puts his hand out for a beat or two, raises it up, and gives Joe the finger and smiles at him.
That was great.
That was great.
And it's funny where the way the camera's filming it, like you just see him hold up his hand, and you see like where his hand is like right behind Joe's big head.
Yeah.
And then the camera guy moved to the side, and boom, straight middle finger.
You get
by
like
Kofi.
a second and a half of middle finger, and then they cut away.
And then they cut away.
And then Joe goes after him. Kofi lays him out with Trouble in Paradise. He stands tall at the end of the segment. This is going to be an interesting match. I'm curious to see how things play out over the next 2 episodes next week for the go home shows. Because you got to do predictions next week.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It is fun.
I will say that in the beginning of this thing, I loved when I was cracking up because Kofi comes out with a giant thing of pancakes.
Yeah.
And then right when they start getting into it, Kofi says, you know, your big ass, your ass is too big sneaking around, trying to choke people out and stuff. And then this is what I love about when promos are good, they're great. Mm-hmm. Joe was able to elicit a reaction from the crowd by saying, all you have to do is shake my hand.
Yeah.
And his delivery when he said, like, Joe's so good on the mic.
He's amazing.
It's like he is the best as far as like heels go. His mic work as a heel on his own without having like a manager like Heyman or anything, it's above and beyond all the other guys because he's so genuine and his delivery is awesome. And just, you know, Joe's an SOB.
Yeah.
And he knows he's an SOB.
Yeah.
So just having his hand up, just shake my hand.
Yeah.
And Kofi's kind of playing with the idea of shake his hand just because if he does it, according to Joe, he's not going to hurt anybody. He's not going to beat up any of the guys in the New Day or make threats to his family like he did with AJ.
Yeah.
Look, which, that to me was like, I think that's what he was alluding to.
Yeah.
Like, Joe will go do things that other guys won't do.
He will cross all the lines.
He will
pretty
cross
much.
all the lines.
Yeah. Joe does eloquent and menacing simultaneously better than anybody.
Better than anyone.
He is legit like a top-tier Hollywood actor in that respect.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I'd like to see Joe have his own TV show.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He needs to do extra work or do something on
He's
USA.
done some voice work for video games, I know.
Really?
Yeah, he has. I think
He does
cartoons,
live
too.
in LA, so I can see him doing
I
that.
think he did there's a Transformers series on YouTube that he did some voice work for.
Oh,
I think, too.
that's awesome.
He's got the voice for it.
He's so good. Joe's such a nice guy too. I remember, I went and talked to him because he was in NXT at the same time I was there, and he's a big brewery guy.
Oh,
he likes
okay.
a good craft ale, so
All the more reason to like him.
all the more reason to like Joe. He's a good craft ale guy.
After that, we had a Heavy Machinery interview. They were asked to react to the stipulation for the main event for the evening, and of course, they're all about it. Tucky was doing most of the talking here.
Yeah, I don't like Tucker talking.
Otis was.
Tucker! Yeah. Oh, Tucker, I've known Tucker forever. I've known him since he was a junior in high school.
Oh wow!
I've known him forever. He does this weird tongue thing when he talks, and I hate it.
Oh yeah.
He does, and a lot of stuff when it comes to promos, and a lot of it's in the eyes. When I was watching 205 Live, Tony Nese doesn't do a lot with his eyes.
Yeah.
They kind of just stay in the same spot. I had the same problem when I was in promo class. My eyes wouldn't really kind of explain anything. Tucker has the same problem. When he talks, his eyes don't really go anywhere, and he's trying to show as much personality, charisma as Otis.
Yeah.
But his eyes are just stagnant, and it's just to me, it's hard to kind of get behind it. And my brother right here, Otis, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna,
We're coming.
we're gonna get these titles. Me and my brother Otis.
That's a good Tucker.
Yeah, I know. I've been around
Tucker.
forever. He's your twin. I've known him forever. Can I ever remind you a lot of Tucker? I've known Tucker forever. I've wrestled him in college a bunch of times. We're good friends.
Yeah.
We're not the best of friends, but we're cool. But I know Tucker very, very well.
I wonder if a lot of that is just inexperience, because I'm guessing Tony Nese probably didn't do a whole lot of talking in his indie days.
Yeah, probably not. Tucker, his personality is naturally laid back, super, super chill. So him kind of trying to hype up his personality, it can be kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
But it's awesome that, like I said, when Dawkins found Montez, boom, it helped him out a lot. When Tucker found Otis, same exact thing. Because Otis is so much wacky charisma and just
it gives him someone to play off of, which helps a
lot.
Next, we had this really weird. So Bob Lashley looks like was supposed to be a hospital room, maybe, because there's a stand for an IV in the background. And he's talking about the incident with Braun, saying, yeah, Braun's the one who deserves to get hurt badly. But next time I face Braun, he won't be leaving the arena to go to the hospital. He'll be leaving to go to the morgue. He threatened to kill Braun Strowman.
Yep.
I don't think that's legal.
No.
And you certainly can't just put that up on Twitter.
No, he just put on Twitter and he called him a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I actually like this promo from... I actually really like this promo from Lashley. Like I said, some people can do it in the ring. Some people can do it backstage. Some people can do it better when they have the camera right on their face. And a lot of Lashley's the same thing. When he goes out in the ring and cuts a promo, it's not that good.
I think it falls flat. Some people, I understand, would be better served from scripted promos, because not everybody can go out there for 2 minutes and improvise or even riff off bullet points. That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
But I also think sometimes when you hand a script to somebody and say, you have to read this, also you have 3 minutes to memorize your line and get your beats down.
Yeah.
That's not easy either.
Yeah.
So I worry far too often these guys and women are in situations where they have to go out and essentially recite lines to advance story. It's like essentially an info dump on the audience.
Yep.
We got to get this out of the way to motivate the match or motivate the story point later on. I wonder if this is a situation where Lashley was like, oh, got a call, text from somebody, producer, saying, hey, we need you to do a Twitter video talking about this. Just maybe say this. Lashley says, all right, cool. Press record on the phone, go to town.
Way better than any of his other stuff. I think the way he was talking, the way the lighting was in the room, you can actually see his face and when he's delivering it. It was great.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And that's, I think, because, like, you know, we all hear about Lashley's heel work and TNA and Impact.
He was doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah, exactly, with the American Top Team guys. So, and also keep in mind, Stevie Richards is one of the trainers at American Top Team. So I'm sure that he was weighing it. I know, super random.
That is random.
I know, but he is one of the trainers at American Top Team.
That's great.
So I know some of you guys know who Colby Covington is. I went to college with Colby. He's like one of the guys for UFC who might have a title. Anyway, Colby works with his promo stuff with Stevie Richards. And so I'm sure when he was getting help from Stevie Richards as far as promos go. But in that segment with Lashley just his face, the way he's looking at the camera, the way he was speaking, he's not trying to sound louder on the mic like he does in SmackDown, but just, you know, talk slower, be more personable with your phone camera. And I thought it was better. I like this version of Lashley.
Oh, hell yeah. There's something, you know, sometimes there's someone who's soft-spoken. And Joe can do this sometimes. That's incredibly soft-spoken. And you think just based on the tone of the voice, oh, this is a completely pleasant individual.
Yep.
But then they say some jacked up stuff, and it's more menacing when they say it in very soothing tones.
Yeah.
As opposed to this one. Like if he was screaming to the phone, oh, I'm going to send you to the morgue.
Yeah.
It's like that's over the top. It's cartoonish.
That's 80s wrestling, which you're trying to get away from.
Totally. Yeah. After that, we had Andrade versus Apollo Crews. I wish they'd given this match more time because I felt like it was only the tip of the iceberg with these two guys. Because they hit some of their usual moves, but I feel like this feud could have, I don't know about Ray versus Andrade potential, but give them 20 minutes.
Yes.
And really give us the opportunity to show what Apollo can do.
Yeah. Remember I said I want to see someone random do a best 2 out of 3 falls? This is a match where I want to see best 2 out of 3 falls. And yeah, like I said, somebody who just doesn't have that opportunity to go out there and really show what he's made of.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy you want to see as Apollo Crews.
You know what they said? They said this is Apollo's first match on SmackDown since the Superstar Shakeup. That was more than 2 months ago.
That's insane. That's insane. He is so damn talented. I will say this. I can think of every promotion in the Northern California area. He would be he would be the main event guy at every promotion just with how talented he is, how strong and built he is. Just he has everything. It's just the only thing he doesn't have is someone writing stuff for him.
I know.
Like credible, something good for him.
Did you ever see the pose off he did with Lashley?
That was great. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Showed personality, charisma. That's like when I was telling you guys, when he did that promo class with him, and I was doing casual talk with your casual pal Cal, I had him on the show. And like, no one's ever going to see it, but like him, everything's too easy for him. Like, make it like a Mr. Perfect gimmick, but just instead of, you know, everything he does is perfect, everything he does is too easy. And I even saw it say on his knee pad, too easy. They need to do something like that with him.
Yeah.
And it's just easy. It'll write itself.
Yeah.
Everything just comes too easy for Apollo. But I don't know. For whatever reason, they're having a hard time figuring out what they want to do. Like, he needs to go to with an acting coach to like unlock something in himself personality wise so that he can come back with the writers. Hey, this is what I want to do. Because like he didn't have that time to develop his character with, you know, the creative staff in NXT.
Yeah.
And that's like who came up with, you know, unfortunately this is sad, but he got his name. Dusty Rhodes gave him the name Apollo Crews. Dusty unfortunately passed away, so he never had that one-on-one Dusty time to kind of unlock his charisma and personality. Sad.
Yeah.
But I would have really liked to see Apollo. They give him something. And, like, this is cool with him and Andrade. It's something. And, like, having Zelina there, who's a really good promo. She's really good everywhere. Maybe she can help those guys unlock something. I don't know. Be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will be. This match is good. Again, just tip of the iceberg, it felt like. Crews hit his old finish. The press slam moonsault combo only gets to 2. And then Andrade tries to do like a slingshot splash to the ringside area. Apollo catches him, gives him pretty much snake eyes on the apron. And then Zelina runs off the apron while the ref is checking on Andrade. Hits the Rana on Apollo, sending him to the announce table. Andrade gets him back of the ring, hits a hammerlock DDT for the win. I'm sure this feud will continue. But as you said, 2 out of 3 falls. Give him 20, 25 minutes on SmackDown. Give him 2 commercial breaks. 1 per fall.
Yeah. The only thing that kind of bugged me was he can catch a 210-pound guy off a slingshot, but then when like a 100-pound girl catches him on a hurricanrana, he gets thrown. That's the only thing I kind of was like, I know that's her thing, and that's what she does to everyone.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I would have not had the slingshot spot for him to catch, then only for him to get flung by a 100-pound girl.
Yeah. No,
that was the only thing I would have kind of changed up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no, yeah, whatever. Then that was enough for him to. I almost thought that when he got rolled in the ring and Andrade applies his the
hammerlock
DDT.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna reverse out of it, hit him with
yeah.
something, and then it would somewhere lead to the finish after that.
Yeah.
But then just
same
old.
Yeah.
That kind of bummed me out.
We need more.
Yeah, we definitely
more
need
from
more.
both of them. After that, we had Dolph and Kevin Owens backstage. Kevin says, all right, here's my plan. You stay on the apron, look pretty. I'm going to win the match. And Dolph said something to the opposite. They're kind of getting testy a little bit. And Owens is like, hey, maybe if we just put our differences aside, we can try to win those tag titles. What do you think? He extends his hand. Dolph shakes it. And then would Owens say, like, we can go get a hot dog afterward or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Because he just shook his hand and he said hot dog and a handshake.
Yep. Then we got another Aleister Black promo. He says he's happy that someone finally knocked on his door, and he wants to face Mystery Knocker at Extreme Rules.
I'm wondering, okay, where is Aleister Black? Like,
Oh, in the arena?
yeah, but like, why is it's the same room everywhere? Like, is he just chilling in his house? Is he in San Antonio? Is he traveling with a show and he just has his own little room that he brings everywhere with him? Like.
I don't have an answer for any of those
I
questions.
don't know.
He's wearing different clothes most weeks,
Yeah,
and the lighting is slightly different from place to place.
and then why would you be happy someone knocked? Someone like Lance Storm tweeted, he goes, maybe it was like one of the maintenance worker that knocked because he has to clean the room,
Yeah.
but then he realized, someone's
in there. Yeah.
Someone's in there. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah,
and,
that's
walked
a
away.
possibility.
So now, like, was he going to challenge the maintenance worker?
Maybe.
And like, why would any superstar not like? Yeah, I think someone doorbell ditched him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, knock on the door and then just run away. Why would you run
Yeah,
away? Like,
yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I always say to Steve is if Aleister really wants to fight somebody, he should probably go to the one place for sure in a wrestling during a wrestling show where fighting actually happens, which is in the ring.
Yeah, just go to the ring. Go to the ring and say all that stuff.
Sit down, middle of the ring.
Yeah, cross your feet, sit in
Yeah.
the ring, wear your awesome gear.
Yeah.
Come out with your music where you come up, you
Yeah, the
walk to the
vampire
ring,
entrance,
your vampire
totally.
entrance, you sit down, you cut like that Aleister Black promos like you did in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just do that. I don't like this backroom
It's
stuff.
I mean, like I appreciate like the really florid language because he can speak with a certain degree of eloquence and it sounds interesting. It's just gone like most things in WWE. They have one kernel of an idea and they just hammer it a whole.
Yeah, they're just running with this. It's like, man, this kid's too young. He's too talented.
good.
He doesn't need. Yeah, he's way too good. Just the best Aleister Black's in the ring.
The version of NXT? Sorry, the version of Aleister Black that got over super quick in NXT was the version that went out there and kicked ass.
Yep. Yeah.
The people want to see him go out there and kick people's heads off.
Yeah.
After that, we had Ember Moon versus Mandy Rose. Right as the bell rings, Ember turns her attention to Sonya, who's ringside. Mandy tries to get the upper hand, doesn't, at least immediately, because Ember lays her out with a forearm. But eventually, Mandy does get the upper hand, hits her running knee. She's got a great looking running knee.
She has a really, really good running knee.
It's not quite Kenny or Buddy Murphy status, but it's close.
You know what? It's her own.
Yeah.
She does like the little hop to it. When those guys they can just run and like boom, hit it. She has her own style of hitting it, and I really like it.
Hers is almost more of a bicycle knee because she pumps the other leg.
Yeah, she has a little bicycle knee thing. Mandy's gotten really good lately.
She has.
She's been putting the work.
I remember we went to a house show here probably 3 years ago.
Oh, that was when she took on Asuka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we were like, okay, Asuka's gonna 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was like a 12-minute match.
Yeah.
And you could see flashes of potential for Mandy there, but it was still there's moments where the match kind of struggled, but to see how far she's come since then is pretty impressive.
That's a thing that like a lot of people need to realize with pro wrestling. If you're confident in how to perform, that helps a lot when you're in the ring. And I feel like she has such natural confidence in herself that she can go out there and just have no problem performing and doing stuff. Some people aren't. It takes them a while to like get used to that, but she has really, really good confidence. So it's cool to see how much she's progressed. And like, I love her running knee. I wish that was her finish.
Oh, I do too.
They should make that her finish.
I know, I agree.
Awesome.
I mean, she does Ciampa's finish for her finish.
Oh, the
Fairy tale ending type thing, which is all right.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ember picks up the win. She hits the second rope code breaker, which apparently they're not allowed to say code breaker anymore, and follows it up with an eclipse, and she gets the win. No interference from Sonya Deville. After that, we had this kind of bizarre Shelton Benjamin bit where there's a voice off camera, probably recorded after the fact, saying, "Who do you think is going to win the WWE title at Extreme Rules?" And he just looks around, kind of smiles.
Last time we saw him was by Corbin's office.
Yeah.
That was last time. So then what makes him want to like smile, like, you know, be really weird and like
I don't
just
know.
eye to eye?
I mean, if that means they're going to do something with Shelton Benjamin finally, I'm all about it because he's great. But
Yeah. I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
It was weird. I'm not gonna. I'm reserve judgment on this one and wait to see like what happens next week.
Well,
what he's
maybe
gonna
see it
do.
one more time and then they'll drop it. Probably.
Yeah, and then I'll just drop it, and then it's just like, okay, well, he had a thought, but he never said it.
I mean, it's going to make for a great GIF to use on Twitter.
That's exactly what I thought. Like, oh, cool. So now someone's gonna use that. You're gonna make a meme or a GIF out of it.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, WWE.
That segment was made for Twitter's GIF keyboard.
Yep.
The main event: Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler taking on Heavy Machinery. New Day were at their own commentary booth with tons of pancakes. Daniel Bryan, Eric Rowan were at the standard commentary table, and it was pretty great because Daniel Bryan was just talking trash the entire time until New Day said, "All right, we have enough," and they go and attack him.
Hearing Woods go back and forth with Daniel Bryan, and what's awesome is because I've done the headset stuff before. I did when I was hurt. When you have this on, you can hear what everybody down the line's saying, and obviously you can hear what the guys in the back are saying. So I'm sure that like the match is going on, but they just hear each other yapping from across the ends of where the ring is or whatever, and it's hilarious hearing Woods go off on Daniel Bryan, just pointing out, well, you did this, I did this, you did this, I did that. Like, Woods is such a funny, charismatic dude. It was like the match is going on slow. Obviously, they're not going to do a whole lot because they're trying to put over the commentary, and then eventually, you just see Woods tackle Rowan off the table onto the chair. That was awesome.
They start brawling.
They just start brawling.
Daniel Bryan hits a knee plus, I think, on Big E.
Yeah.
And then Rowan puts Woods through the announce table with the iron claw. We go to commercial. They kind of restart the match.
Yep.
It was actually a pretty fun way to work in a commercial
And that
break.
was the thing, that they worked in a commercial break by doing that.
Yeah. Finish saw Otis avoid a stunner from Kevin Owens, and then Dolph, mistakenly, because Otis got out of the way, super kicks Kevin. And then Otis pins Owens after the compactor from Heavy Machinery. They celebrate. They leave. Owens is in the ring. He hits Dolph with a stunner after the match and starts yelling at him, "This is my show. That's why this is my show."
I think they're testing the waters with Heavy Machinery. I really, really dig that. Seeing if they're sink or swim. And they're consistent with going against two world champs. How well can these guys follow and how well can these guys do their stuff while, taking on seasoned competitors. I was really, Tucker impressed me. I loved when, two things I like from Tucker that he did in this match. I loved when Kevin pushes him off. He does the giant leap, roll, and then boom, hits him with a drop kick, kind of showing his athleticism.
Yeah.
He doesn't weigh 320.
Yeah.
I know he weighs like 300, 290. But they're going to put up his weight, regardless. But then what I really, really liked was when Dolph pulled down the rope, instead of how a lot of guys pitch themselves out of the ring, Tucker made it look like he ate crap when he rolled out.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And he did it his own kind of way.
Yeah.
And then that was enough for the cutoff for them to put the heat on him pretty much in the match. And then eventually hot tag to Otis. I was cracking up because Otis is giving left arm lariats to everybody when you always give it to your right, but that's his thing. When you give tackles, you give tackles on your left, but when you give clotheslines, you do it on your right. That's just like a little thing that I noticed. And then he did that little running headbutt.
Yeah.
And then he goes in, does the little worm, and he didn't do his like air humping thing, which I think's hilarious. When he did it, he just went straight to the elbow, which means he was probably really, really tired at that point.
That's what I got too.
He gassed out, so he didn't want to wiggle his tummy or whatever.
Yeah.
And then eventually, also liked what Otis did, his instincts. Awesome ring instincts, because I've seen guys in the indies time this spot horribly wrong, where you have someone holding you, someone's about to kick you. How do you move out the way in time for that kick to connect with the other person?
Yeah.
Where Otis was, no one was holding. He was just in front of, I think, Kevin or
Owens.
Dolph.
Owens, yeah.
Owens. He's in front of Owens. So he had to look behind his head to catch when Dolph is right behind him. So he had to like use his, Otis senses.
Yeah.
Once he knew the time, he got out of the way, laid on his back, boom, connected with a kick. That was enough for them to grab and go to the finish.
Yeah.
That type of stuff, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because that just showed that these guys have timing. So that was a big test for them. And whoever the producer was that they called, that was their idea. Obviously, they didn't come up with that. So that was a big test for heavy machinery. Yeah. So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That little spot was huge. It's a make or break moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. Maybe I'll give Otis the benefit of the doubt and say this was intentional. Him getting out of the way was sloppy enough to make it feel a little believable, because he didn't just yoink get out of the way. He kind of stumbled a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was almost under Kevin Owens' legs when he ate the kick. So it kind of felt like it was, oh snap, I gotta get out of the way quick like.
Yeah.
So if this is the first step towards Kevin Owens face push, I'm all about it. I love Kevin Owens. He's one of my favorites.
He's great. And after the match, instead of like, how would you react to a guy who's not really your tag partner? You guys don't like each other. It's like, screw this guy. We just lost. I don't like him at all.
Yeah.
Give him a stunner.
Of course, the downside is maybe they were going to get a Kevin Owens Dolph Ziggler feud, and I don't think anybody really wants to see that.
Yeah, I want to see Dolph do something else.
Like stand-up comedy.
You could do stand-up comedy. You could do anything. Like go, he needs to go with his brother Ryan Nemeth.
Yeah.
Ryan's got a movie he's trying to make called it's the Heel movie. I forget if that's what it's called.
I think it's called Heel. Yeah.
Heel.
Yeah.
Him and his brother just need to go work on that. They're two great guys. St. Ed's graduates. They have a great amateur wrestling background. They love pro wrestling. They need to go hang out. Go hang out with your brother Ryan.
Yeah.
Dolph.
Yeah. This is what I've noticed, that kind of. So Dolph, I know he's got an extensive amateur background. He's supposed to be like the winningest wrestler.
That's no more. That's not true anymore.
Okay.
I can think of 5 guys that have better records than him at Kent State.
Okay.
Dustin Kilgore for one.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he's got an extensive amateur background, and like in 2012, before I had really been as immersed into independent and wrestling from other promotions around the world. Like you see Dolph, you see a guy his size who's pretty damn athletic, who can sell really well, even though he's a bit over the top at times. And in 2012 or whatever, when I was actually a pretty huge Dolph fan, I was like, wow, this guy's really good. He's something a little different. But he hasn't really evolved his style in the 7 years since. And he seems pretty old school.
Yeah.
In terms of how he works his matches and the moves he utilizes.
Kind of like Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Cody are kind of similar, only I think Cody's a lot more edgier with his approach to stuff.
Yeah.
Dolph kind of just does the same stuff,
He's doing the same thing the whole time.
And it seems like it gets a little too repetitive at times. And like obviously he's a talented guy. He's excellent on the mic, but he's just kind of playing the same beats that because a lot of the time they're going to have guys go out there and do the same stuff over and over again because they are consistent. Mm-hmm. When you see someone like The Miz is consistent, but he shows so much charisma and personality that he's able to alternate between. He makes things interesting.
Yeah.
Dolph he doesn't really do anything interesting to make me want to say, I really want to see more Dolph. Because in the end, it's like the moves don't really matter. It's the person behind the moves. Mm-hmm. And even his personality hasn't changed much. It's been kind of the same.
He's been bitter wrestler for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, it's getting old. I mean, it was awesome when, I think, what was it? It was like, was it No Mercy in the San Jose where it's like he was taking on the
it was
it was in Sacramento.
Yeah, where his career was on the line. That was a great match.
That was a great match. but he had reason to change who he was for that match.
Yeah.
But then he kind of went back to, woe is me, I'm the best, I never get what I want, I'm the best, blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, we've heard you say that before. You need to.
And you always end up losing.
Always end up losing.
So, yeah, at a certain point you got to say, maybe I'm not the best because I lose all the time. Let's answer some questions. RJ Roxas, thank you. Pusha Testy just sent a crocodile emoji. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't get that.
Oh, what was it?
A crocodile emoji.
What was the thing you said before that?
Nothing. It's just a crocodile emoji.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Dylan Haggett, hey Cal, what countries have you wrestled in?
I wrestled in France, Turkey, Bulgaria. I've been to Germany. I didn't wrestle there. But these are all for freestyle amateur matches. Nothing pro wrestling wise. I'm hoping to go to Mexico soon, and then I want to go overseas, at least to England, and check out that loop. But everything's a work in progress. And obviously, eventually, I want to go to Japan, which every wrestler should want to dream and obtain to go to.
It looks like it's a hell of an experience going over there.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Dom L, once again, we were denied the hashtag SmackDown Live debut.
Yeah, I think Liv needs to work on her. She doesn't have a character. I don't know what her character is. She didn't really have a character when she's in NXT. She had some choppy dialogue about Peyton and Billy. Mm-hmm. But you look at, like, her character. So, like, if we had to compare, like, you take Carmella and you have Liv. Both.
There's a lot of similarities. Yeah.
Carmella has a lot of a more natural approach when it comes to her promos and the way she delivers. Liv's just, she's a young girl. I mean, she's 20. She just turned 25. But there's stuff that she needs to mature on so that she can have a more writable character. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see her, like, it was a weird, like, her and the Riot Squad was cool because they're all friends and they all worked well together with her and Sarah Logan. But now it's like Sarah Logan's on her own, and Sarah Logan's had more work as far as like TV stuff.
Yeah.
It's because she's been wrestling longer than Liv.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Liv attach herself with someone, and she works better when she plays off of other people. Mm-hmm. So her by herself, it's okay, but she needs some incentive. She needs something that we can see her personality more instead of like, because some people shine in front of the camera and some people shine in the ring. I don't really know where she shines. She's a good little wrestler.
Yeah, she had a pretty decent match against Ember Moon before the SmackDown we went to.
Yeah.
They gave us some time. Her packaging is great.
Yeah.
Like her whole presentation is really good.
Yeah.
As you said, she's a decent wrestler, but yeah, it just seems like they need to find a character.
Yeah. Who's the actress that played Harley Quinn?
Margot Robbie.
She needs to not watch. She needs to just watch Margot Robbie stuff to get ideas. Not like don't watch Suicide Squad together, but like other stuff.
Yeah.
Just because Margot Robbie's from Australia, but she can do a really good she was in Wolf of Wall Street. Just like her personality and how she delivers, like her charisma. If I was Liv Morgan, I'd watch stuff like that.
Yeah.
To get an idea of character for Margot Robbie.
Nick Montenegro. Hey Cal, what's your finisher?
My finisher is a gut wrench GTS.
It's something else.
Yeah.
First time I saw him do it, I thought he about knocked somebody's head off.
Like, I need to have more outlet. I need to get more of my matches on YouTube and stuff so you guys can see it. It's my move. I got ideas from the regular GTS, but I remember I showed it to like Tom Lawler, Filthy Tom, and he's like, "Damn, I wish I would have thought something like that." So it's my move. I created it, but it sucks because I don't really have an outlet for someone to see. I don't have enough. So.
But also, maybe that's good because someone else won't take it.
That's exactly it. So somebody won't steal my move.
Yeah, it's a good move. Biff Top Johnny. Hey, guys, what's your favorite heel and face turn?
My favorite heel turn... I don't really know. That's a good question. I'd have to think about that. Who had a good heel turn? As of early of all time?
It's ever, I guess.
I mean, best was Hogan for the NWO.
Yeah, probably.
But that's cliche. I want to think of my own.
I mean, Owens turned on Jericho at the Festival of Friendship.
That was really well done.
I want to know what.
But he was like, I'm thinking of like who started out as a face,
Obviously, yeah.
and then turned into a heel.
I still really want to know what Triple H said to him before that.
Oh, I know.
There's that little thing backstage.
Hey, you need to take a different approach.
You need to shape up your act if you want.
I find it funny that you align yourself with Jericho.
You're such a joker, you know.
But I think favorite face turn, man. If we could have saw a face Bray Wyatt, and when he said, "I got the whole world in my damn hand," or however he delivered it, that would have made me like, dude, that would have been awesome. But no, they didn't. He was just transitional champ.
I know.
That was a bummer.
Dylan, Owens as a face is just something fresh and new. Yeah, I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Fiend Kicks, who has the best Hurricane Rana and why is it Zelina? Hers is good. I don't know if I'd say it's the best.
I wouldn't say it's the best. Just she's the one that does it the most on TV.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Alex C says, I loved AJ's turn on Cena.
That was great.
That was great.
Yeah.
Good call, Alex C. Thank you, Jonathan, new member. Dom L, maybe Rambling Rabbit was the one that knocked and Alistair just didn't think to look down. Maybe.
Sure.
Maybe. Brian Jankowski, with the limited amount I've seen of Kenny Omega, it's hard to take him as serious competitor with all the goofy faces and voices. Thoughts? No, man, his knee looks legit.
I don't think I like his in-ring antics and the way he does stuff because it's his own. Some people like it, some people don't. Man, when he does it, you get into the match.
Yeah,
and that's why he's the 5-star bout machine.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
He is.
Some people, it's hit or miss if people like it or not. I like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, wrestling's an opinion. So
totally, everything's subjective. I know there's a lot of people who don't really care for the comedy stuff, but when he does comedy matches, it's generally pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Fedora Goomba, I like Dolph more than most, but I agree he needs to be more cocky and less woe is me, I'm so put upon. He just needs to change things up. He's been pretty much the same wrestler for 5 or 6 years, and it's time to reinvent it.
You know what he reminds me of? He needs to be like an agent. He looks like he'd be an agent for somebody because he always wears the coats and stuff.
Yeah.
He needs to go like manage somebody. He needs to go like. There's a couple wrestlers I think could fulfill a better role as like a manager or an agent, and it's like I've seen Dolph wrestle enough. He needs to do something else where he's not talking about himself. Just go manage.
That'd be interesting.
Somebody else, like go manage Authors of Pain or something.
Yeah,
like anything.
And he's still legit enough that if he gets involved, you're like, oh damn.
He can still do stuff.
He can still super kick.
Yeah,
totally. That's not a bad idea.
He needs to do something else.
Alex Foster asked, Cal Jack and Larson, what ways would you lose a 24/7 title?
I would win the 24/7 title. I like the idea of when they don't do it in the arena. Those short bits at the golf course, the airline strip, on the plane.
Yeah.
Those are great. Like, man, do it. Like, I'd love it if somebody's. And here's what I've also noticed: Dan Agler, the ref, or he was Rudy Charles in TNA. He is what's his name's guy. He's Drake Maverick's guy.
Yeah.
He's only won the title when he's the ref.
Yeah.
So obviously you got to be buddies with one of the refs. I would have Sticks. He would be my ref. He's a little bald dude.
Okay.
Me and Sticks would hang out, and then we would try to find, or maybe it'd be Sean Bennett. Maybe Sean Bennett.
Yeah.
One of the guys. Probably Sticks. Sticks is hilarious. Sticks and I would hang out. I don't care who it is. We'd offer to have the person hang out, and I wouldn't tell them that Sticks is there. And then, boom, hit whoever at my house, whatever, win the title. And then I kick the guy out, call the police, say, hey, there's someone intruding on my property. This person's not supposed to be here.
Restraining order. Too. So come within the.
So they can't win the title back.
Exactly. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd have Jack Daddy as my ref. I don't know his name, the guy who's real buff and super tan.
Oh, that's Armstrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have
Scott
him
Armstrong, yeah.
as my ref. And I'd wait till the rest of the gym mid bench press, go and just lay on top of him. Jack Daddy covers the pin, real quick while they got the bar over their head.
Yeah.
But position myself so if they drop the bar, I wouldn't be in danger.
No. Yeah.
Only themselves, so they can't drop the bar.
Yeah.
I'd win that way, and then I would hop on Jack Daddy's back, and he would carry me out.
Yeah.
Because he's jacked.
He'd probably, he's the one that when they have the local guys come and be extras, and they do matches. He's usually the one that reviews all the matches.
Oh, all right.
So he's the guy that watches the matches and review them. So he might review your execution on getting the 24/7
Give me an
title.
F. How would I lose it? Probably the same way. I'd fall asleep.
Yeah, if I was to lose it, yeah, it'd be me sleeping, or I might something like that.
Yeah.
Something really lame.
Yeah, it'd be the lamest way
It would
possible.
just be like how what's his name lost it on the plane.
Oh, Jinder?
Yeah, how Jinder lost it.
Yeah, I just fell asleep.
It'd be the same way.
Let's see here. Next one. Max Zero. So is Kevin Owens a face now? He sure came across as one during the KO show. He did. He was really giving it to the heels, talking back, not doing what Shane wanted. So they're giving us hints that it could definitely be there could be a face turn for Owens in the near future. All about that for sure. Thomas Dunnigan, being the new creative head on Raw, do you think that will keep Heyman from appearing on SmackDown, which means Brock won't be showing up on SmackDown either? Or will Heyman simply be playing two roles as creative head and manager and will appear in SmackDown whenever they want to bring Brock in? Potentially, I would be absolutely shocked if they didn't have Brock involved when SmackDown shows up on Fox.
Yeah, they're gonna move all the heavy hitters to SmackDown, and they're gonna have to turn that into the main show. But it's interesting. Why would they have Bischoff be the one running SmackDown if that's going to be the case?
I just heard that they wanted him to deal with network execs at Fox because he had experience doing that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mondo Vulgare, of the three top champs who won their titles at WrestleMania, Becky, Seth, and Kofi, who should drop their title first, and who will? Who should and who
Man, it's hard to even think about what the Becky and Seth stuff, because they have them working with each other. So it's weird. That scenario is so weird. Mm-hmm. And okay, I like what's going on with Kofi and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
When we were talking the other day, I was like, man, it'd be cool to see Seth go against Samoa Joe. Well, now instead, obviously it happened last week. We're getting Joe versus Kofi. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Seth and Becky drop those titles, can they stop being like awkward couple on TV?
Yeah, I hope so. Or that might make it more awkward.
It might even. I don't know. It's
hopefully if they win, and they'll say like, all right, we're happy now.
Yeah,
let's just do our own thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this morning because Corey said on Raw that he had heard rumors and innuendo. Chat me up, Corey Graves.
Yeah, chat me up, Corey Graves.
About the Kofi Samoa Joe match being a ladder match.
Yeah.
And one reason they might institute a stipulation like that is so whoever loses doesn't have to take a pin.
Yeah.
And you could have a situation where, say, Joe chokes Kofi out. He can't make it up to the ladder, prevent Joe from winning. Have the rematch at SummerSlam without that kind of stipulation.
Yeah.
You can always have Kofi get it back there.
Yeah. I mean, I think like you just said, I think if you got, so Brock still has the briefcase. Mm-hmm. You have Seth, who's feuding with Corbin, and Lacey Evans with Becky. I don't want to see those titles leave them. So for the better story is Kofi and Joe. I don't care how that title gets changed up a bit. I'd let Kofi drop it and then let Kofi get it back.
Exactly.
I'm fine with that because that's the more interesting story. And Joe's awesome. Mm-hmm. And seeing Joe compete and might get the title, I'd rather see that than anything else. Yeah. I don't want to see whatever they're doing with Seth, geeky Seth, and whatever they're doing with.
No, it's not good.
I don't want to see that. No, I'm just going to focus on Kofi and Joe.
They haven't done in a while, is hot potato a world title.
Yeah, they did that in the Attitude Era all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It changed up all the time.
And I know a lot of people didn't like it when Sasha and Charlotte passed that belt back and forth a number of times. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I was fine with that because it showed their feud and
they were on equal footing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great.
But the only problem is these writers are like, oh, Sasha barely held the title, blah, 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 blah. We're going to use that as like her crutch, is that she can barely hold on to the title. It's like, who cares?
Well, if there was payoff at some point where she finally had a successful title defense and is a huge deal on a huge stage, that's fine. But I just have a feeling at this point it's not going to be anything. It's so far removed. She should have won at Hell in a Cell in the main event against Charlotte in Boston. She should have won that match.
Yeah.
We'll finish with this one from Rich. Cal, it's you and Larson in a tag team. Who do you face and who goes over?
Face anyone, man. Be fine with that.
Let's face Heavy Machinery.
Okay, easy.
You know those guys.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Probably easy work for you.
It would be tough because I can't just lift Gut Ranch Otis.
Oh.
Because he is big, but I feel I'm quicker than Otis. Tucker's pretty athletic, but I have his number. I had his number in college.
There you go.
I'd have his
there's
number.
built-in heat right there. There's a feud.
And there's a little bit of confidence on my side.
There you go.
It'll be a fun match.
Yeah.
We do good. I can get them up. It would be tough.
Okay.
But sure. Heavy Machinery.
I'd be an absolute beat dummy for a good 5 minutes.
No, I'd find a way to keep you safe.
Yeah.
We'd be heels in that match too.
Okay.
We were better as heels.
You know, sometimes the kids and I will wrestle a little bit safely.
Yeah.
I think I invented a move or a combo. Cobra Clutch.
Yeah.
Into Rainmaker.
Nice. That's good. I might steal that for
there you go.
Because I have my match on Saturday
Yeah.
against Super Beast
Yeah.
and Drake Frost. Two big guys.
Yes.
I'd say Drake Frost is bigger than both Tucker and Otis.
Oh, wow.
He's big.
Yeah. Super Beast is pretty
Super Beast
large
is
dude.
jacked.
Yeah, he's jacked.
So it'll be I'll try that one.
There you go.
It's probably Drake because he's the big one.
There
I
you
can
go.
do whatever with
See
Super Beast.
if you can sell a Rainmaker like Kenny Omega do the full flip.
Maybe.
Anyways, thanks for joining us, anybody. Thank you again, Cal, for joining me. And patrons, YouTube channel members, stay tuned for Overrun. We'll be back in a few minutes. Everybody else, we will not see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 4th of July.
4th of July. Enjoy your family. Go have fun.
Yeah.
Be careful of fireworks.
Yes, just be careful in general. That's always good
Yeah.
advice. But we will be back on Friday for a new show. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.